for me, it's not a different kind of journalism. For me, it's a new tool to use in journalism. So journalism has always been evolving around telling what is happening in the world and finding evidence to what is happening and asking. Usually, traditionally, this was done by asking different sources. Now, increasingly, this is done with the help of computers. Good data visualization allows you to explain much more complex facts and much more complex situations in an easier way. And especially if you move online and you have interactive graphics and you can suddenly interact with the graphic and let the reader explore the connections between the things. We have another danger here, that is that if we overload people with information or overload them with data and we just focus on the data, we do not provide any further information. So the danger to me is to create fancy visualizations just because you can, without really connecting it to a narrative. Mm-hmm. And I think if you want to provide an additional value, you need to always need to take data and take your visualization and put it into context. And this is very important, and this is why we need journalists. We often think that data itself is information and is valuable. Yes, that might be true, but it's not information in the sense that you can use it as a human. You need to interpret it. You need to be able to look at it, to summarize it, to analyze it, and to visualize it, to be able to use it as a human and integrate this in your knowledge and truly understand what it is. If we use this as a new tool for getting information, and there's suddenly this new information elite, because these are the people and these are the overlords that are able to handle the data and that are able to draw information out of data, this doesn't lead to democratization. So what we need to do, and I think this is very important, and this is why events like this are tremendously important, is to spread the knowledge how to take data that's out there on the internet and that's generated by humans and make information out of it. One of my still favorite ones is a case I stumbled across while I was doing campaigning against data retention. And this is the case of a German politician who asked the mobile phone providers to get access to all his data they stored about him. And a small agency in Germany turned this into an interactive map where you could see this person travel around Germany for 6 months. You could see every step he took. You could see where he goes and where he goes more often and where he goes more rarely, where he goes rarely. You could see when he travels by train or by car, and you could see when he flies because the phone is switched off. So this provided a lot of insight into this person's life. So it was a big risk this person took. At first, he said, I didn't know whether I want to do this. But it was great because it showed the problematic of data retention very, very obviously. Right? We always talk to people and say, listen, the problem is, one of the problems there is that you have this trace of your life for 6 months, and then, but having something to show people together with telling this is tremendous, and this is still one of my favorite cases of data visualization. So open knowledge sort of acknowledges this and says we want things we know to be accessible. We want things we know to be available to everyone to use, build on and reuse it and then share it with others again. So this is the basic idea. Big organization with several arms. So the overall goal is to promote open knowledge in the world. But how you do it is different depending on where you are. So one thing we do is we coordinate local groups of local people who are interested in spreading the idea of an open knowledge. And we have a lot of local groups. For example, we have a very young one in Spain. The other thing we do is we bring people together who are experts or have expertise in a certain field and want to promote openness in their fields. And the last thing we do is we work with governments and institutions around the world and help them to open up their information, help them opening up their data. Often with software, so we maintain software for open data portals, for example. The best thing is having something concrete to research where either a journalist or a hacker has a question that she wants to have answered and then reaches out to the other and says, hey, I have this research project. I'm very interested in, let's say, how the members of parliament spend their money. Can you help me in dealing with this amount of information? Can you help me